Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the first video about how to use my workflow, my FLUX Modular WorkFlow 5.0. First of thing you have to do once you have uploaded all the custom nodes needed for this workflow is to set up all the files, the model files for the workflow to work. So things you need to do is just enable the Inpaint Outpaint, click then press number 3 and you will be in the modular backend. Here you have to set up everything in these nodes here. So you have to check that the unit name is Flux, the one that you want to use, that clip vision, style models, GGUF model, the dual clip, the VAE are all loaded here. Also the FLUX one fill dev safe tensor. This is used this model for Inpaint Outpaint. There are also some other models that you need to upload, or at least to be sure that is set to the right model in the SD upscaler over here. Load model here. You can download many of them. There are lots, hundreds and hundreds. I usually work with this one faces 8 times NMKDF faces. It's quite good for portraits. And you will need also here the upscale model for SuperFlux workflow. Once you have done this, the workflow is ready to generate images. So you just turn off the Inpaint Outpaint module because you don't need the first time. You want to just create a basic image with Flux. So you will select here true to use the Flux Dev. If you set to false, you will use the GGUF quantized model for low RAM, VRAM GPUs. Let's use the standard one. Then you have to choose which sub workflow you want to use, the standard flux or the super flux. These are two different ways to generate the image. The standard is the very easy one that we can see here. It's just scheduler, sampling flux, then basic guider, and it will go to the VAD decode, or the super flux that is a little bit more complex. This was proposed by Oliver Sarikas, a very good YouTuber that shows a lot of ideas and proposes his workflows for all the stable diffusion and flux models. Over here is how it works. You have 3 steps workflow in here. So let's say that you have a 30 steps generation. It will work this way. The first 10 steps are here. Then it will work on a second 10 from 10 to 20 steps here. And then the third from 20 steps to 30 here. This way, it will generate the image in 3 steps, creating first a very general image with just 10 steps for for this example, and then from this image it will improve to other 10 steps, and again on the third time other 10 steps. This way it's a little bit slower, but the details of the image will be much more clear and more crispy, and you will have a better image usually. It doesn't work very well for close-up portraits. as some details are exaggerated and the skin may turn out overcooked. So just you can try it and test it if it works for you. But for this example, for today tutorial, we will use just the standard one. Remember that in these nodes that are indicate only one active, you can have only one of the two that is on yes. Otherwise, the workflow may be bugged or will stuck and will not work. We are not going to save the images. These are just an example, so you will have only the preview on your monitor and it will not be saved. But remember, if you want to save your images, just turn off on the switch here. If you want to have the metadata printed on the image as an overlay text, you just turn on this one, this switch here, and you will have the metadata are in the bottom of the image, so you can remember the settings. Maybe you are testing some LoRa's or other experiments, and you need to remember on each image what were the settings. This is very useful. Now, the other thing that we'll talk about today is the prompt, and the prompts are in the green area of the front end, and we will talk about this a little bit later. And now then you have also the tool selectors, the Flux tool selector, where you can choose if you want to use Canny or Depth, Inpaint, Outpaint, or Redux. That is the IP adapter by Flux. And then the modules, you can turn on them uh, from here, the latent noise injection, expression editor, ADetailers, upscaler module, and post-process. For this video, we will keep them turned off. Here are just the settings. As usual, you have the image resolution. You can choose the preset image, these are the classic ones. Then you have the sampler and the scheduler, the number of steps for the image. You can choose 20, 30, up to 50. Doesn't make much difference if you go above 50 usually, so I set this as a maximum for a better use of the slider. You have the flux guidance over here, usually around 3.5. The batch size, you can go up to 4 images at the time. The noise, usually 95% of the time you will keep it at 1. Use this only when you are working on image to image. This means that if you are generating from an image, you will need to lower this to around 0.60, sorry, or even lower to achieve a good image. Otherwise, keep it at 1. These are the seeds, how it works. This is from RG3. It's very, very useful as you can select random seed here, just click over here, and you will see a -1. With -1, it means that every time you click on Q and you generate a new image, the seed will change and it will appear down here. If you want to keep this seed here because you like the image, just click on it and there. From this moment, you will repeat the last image that you did use it with the same seed, and you will keep working on this image, and you can change everything else, but the image will have this seed every time. So this is very useful, very nice to have. One more thing is the Flux LoRa loader. You just click on Add LoRa, and you will be able to add whatever LoRa you want, how many you want, and set the strength of the LoRa. Okay, what we want to use today is the prompt. We want to learn how to use all these prompts in the green area of the workflow. You see you have a lot of nodes, and what are these nodes for? You can leave the prompt alternative to off, everything off here, and you will just use the classic prompt module over here. This is just the text you enter as a classic text to image prompt. You just click Q, and it will take from here the text for the image. If you want to do something different, you can have the LLM prompt generator. Then you have to request to the LLM uh, the image that you want. You just ask, like you are asking to ChatGPT, a description of, let's say, like we have a bottle, a glass bottle in a scenery landscape, a purple galaxy inside the bottle. Okay, this is the request that you could also ask in ChatGPT. And remember, if you are working with LLM, you will need to select the prompt selector number 3. Over here is 3. You want to use the LLM prompt selector. You just press Q, and it will start the Surge LLM node. It's a local LLM node. It means that it loads an LLM model, and it works inside ComfyUI. You don't have to link it to an external LLM website or to Olama if you have installed on your PC. It works everything inside this workflow, and you don't have anything to worry about external services. Here is the prompt that the LLM generated: a stunning and surreal landscape unfolds, and you can read it here. I just zoom in so you can see. And let's see what is the results of this prompt. In a few seconds, we'll have the image generated here. You don't need to have to be very detailed in the request. You could also write just some words, comma separated, or tokens, and the LLM will work on that and create a prompt like ChatGPT would do, almost the same. It's not a big model that is loaded here in this workflow. Uh, it's very small, but it works very nice for the prompt. Here is the image. You see the galaxy inside the bottle, and it comes out a very nice image. Okay, this is the first example for LLM prompt generation. Let's try now with a different alternative, Joy Caption 2. This is a image to image way to generate an image. You just have to set up the primary image here, the image that you want to use for Joy Caption. Let's say that you want to use this image, this beautiful sunset on the sea. There is a man that is here watching the sun setting down. Okay, so you just turn on Joy Caption. You set here the prompt selector at number 2, There we go, number 2. And again, press Q. What what Joy Caption does is to read the image, and an LLM model will try to describe the image. So you don't give a request, a textual request as we did before, but you just input an image, and Joy Caption will try to write a caption of that image, a description, a very detailed description of the image. And the model that Joy Caption uses is quite big. It's much bigger than LLM prompt you used before. So it will take just a few minutes to load the model, but then it will run very fast. Let's wait for the Joy Caption module to write our prompt. Here it is. As you see, this is the description of the image. Well, we have the same here, and it's a sunset. So this is a vibrant photograph capturing a dramatic sunset. Coastline, you see, it's very detailed, lots of words, and this is the classic prompt that you would use for Flux. This is very nice written. Let's see now the image that will come out. The difference between the original image and the one that is generated now is that this was a portrait image, you see, and the image that will be generated will be just a square image. So that is the only difference, but shouldn't make much a difference for us. Okay, we are almost halfway. Okay, and this is what we get. A beautiful image of a sunset with someone standing on the coastline, on this big rock here, the waves, some birds in the sky, clouds. As you see, Joy Caption describes the image very well for Flux to generate your image. These are the main 3 ways you can use the prompts, but then again, you could decide to use the other prompt generator over here. We have the multi-prompt and the prompts and parameters database. Let's see the multi-prompt very quickly. This is just a group of 6 text nodes you can use to write your most used prompts. For example, for testing, maybe you could have some prompts that you love to use more and more just for testing, and you don't want to write it all the time that you need that. So you just write it here, and it will stay every time you save the workflow. It will stay here, and you can use it whenever you want. You just select the prompt selector number 4. Here you decide which text, which prompt of the saved 6 you want to use. You write the text of your prompt in the prompt you want, in the node that you want. You use that, for example, if you write here this prompt here. Just copy because you like it and you want to use it in the future again and again. You just write it here. And this way, with nothing selected here, but with prompt selector number 4, it will work on this group of nodes. Here you choose which of the 6 text you want to use, and this time we are going to use number 1. It is here that we just wrote, and we start again the generation of the image. As you see, the joy caption prompt was deleted because we are not using joy caption this time, and it will work very fast as it's like you wrote it here. But if you write it here and you decide to write a second prompt, you will have to delete the prompt that you just used, and so you won't be able to recover it easily. This way you have it all the time ready at hand. If you need it, you just select it and you can use it immediately. This is mostly used for testing purposes, as you probably maybe you want to use a landscape image, then a portrait in black and white, a portrait of a woman, a portrait of an old man, and just to test the auras or some other modules. You have all the time the prompt ready at your fingertips. Just select 1, 2, or 6, and you will be immediately ready to use that prompt. Now we should have a new image with the sunset in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. There. You see, we use the same prompt that Joy Caption generated, but now we have it here saved for future use whenever we want until we delete it. It will stay here, and we don't have to worry about writing on some words uh, or notepad or whatever and remember where it was. You have it here ready for you. Another prompt to use is the number 5, which is here, this group here, that is the prompt and parameter database. What is this? Let's say that you generate some image that you like very much, and you would like to have the same parameters and the prompt always ready at your fingertips for future generation because you want to repeat that kind of image or have the same prompt ready for you to use. You just save those images with metadata. Remember, they need to have the metadata saved with them. And they are saved in a directory, in a folder that you choose. And from there, you will have kind of an image database. I'll show you right now how you upload here. And it will open this, the prompt database. I created this folder where I save some image that I like very much. So let's say that you want to create an image in a black and white portrait of an old man. You just click here and select prompt selector number 5. It will use this group of nodes for prompt. You press Q, and here is what you get. First thing, the prompt. This is the prompt that was used to generate this image that you saved in your database folder. And you will have also the seed, the number of steps, and the metadata that you can read. Let's make it zoom in. It was with Euler beta, the seed, the size of the image using FLUX1. Then you have, there was a LoRa, the strength of the LoRa. You have several other data. Now, the image that you will get will be similar to this one. Not the same because this prompt will be used, but not the or other metadata. You won't use the seed, you won't use the number of steps that were used in this image. If you want to replicate this image, you will have to do it manually. You will have to copy the seed, copy the number of steps, and all the other data over here, and you will have exactly the same image. What we'll have now will be just a generic black and white portrait of an old man with this prompt that we used here. A portrait of an old man with wrinkles and white hair. And here it is. As you see, we have a similar image. This time is square, but the image is very similar. It's not very realistic, probably because I used a LoRa, a realistic LoRa, in the image that we input. But this is how it works, this database. You just save the images that you like the most, that you probably want to use again. I mean, the prompt that you use for this image, you want to use that same prompt again, and why not maybe even some of the other metadata like the seed or the scheduler, the sampler. You just have that database here of the best images you generated in the past, ready at your fingertips to be copied and generated again with the same parameters. That's it for today. This is more or less everything you have to know about prompt in the workflow. You don't need anything else. The input images here, the primary image is mostly used for image to image and for joy caption. The secondary image is used only when you use the Redux FLUX tool, and this will be explained in another video how to use the FLUX tools. So remember, if you want to use image to image or the joy caption to, you have to upload an image and turn it on. Otherwise, it will not read it, because if I turn this to false, and this means that you don't want to use the image in the primary image, it will be a totally black image, and it won't be readable by the workflow. Yes, we forget the last thing, the image to image prompt. So we want to use an image for image to image, obviously. And okay, let's upload this time again the portrait here. As I said, we have to turn on the image to image, and very important, remember, you have to lower the noise at around 0.6. Okay, now in this case, use the prompt selector 1, which is the classic prompt text to image prompt. And you can give some different description of the image that you want. So we have here a man with short hair and glasses. You could have a description, a photograph of an. Okay, what we changed here is that we wrote long white hair instead of short hair. Let's see if this work out. The noise is very important in this kind of generation, because it will decide how much of the image will be modified by the prompt or the LoRa's if you want to use a LoRa. If you set the noise to 1 as a standard, the image will be completely different. It will not take in account the image input from here because it will generate 100% denoise on the image. The lower the image, the noise value, the more it will use the image that you started from. So it's not for sure that we will get a long hair in this image. Let's see, probably I should modify the noise value to a different number. Let's see. Okay, as you see, the man doesn't have glasses. We didn't write there was glasses. And the hair are a little longer than the original image over here, but it's very similar to it. Let's try with another value around 70. And let's give a prompt with an exaggerated description, extremely long white hair. And let's try again to see what the result will be. As you see, the result is very close to the original image, the same posture. The man is looking at the camera. The face is almost the same. Even the sweater is almost the same. What it changed, it doesn't have the glasses and the hair are a little longer than the original image that we used. Now it should be a little more like the prompt that we wrote and less similar to the image we input for the image to image generation. Okay, we are almost there. 80%, 90. Done. Let's see. Hair are longer. Again, we have glasses. We have some beard. This time, the image is a little bit different. As you see, the posture is slightly changed. The sweater is slightly different, but the result is closer probably to what we asked with longer hair. We should try to modify the noise value. Again, it's just a matter of experimentation you have to try, but this is how it works. Image to image is this kind of prompt here. Just feed an image and it will work on that image, sending it to the latent space, giving the amount of denoise that you choose here, and on that denoise it will modify the image. That's it. Okay, so if you have any question about prompt and prompt modules in my workflow, please ask me in the comments. Hope you are enjoying my workflow. If you have any problem, don't be afraid. Ask me. I will try to help you out. And well, okay, for today it's everything. We will see other things in the next video. I hope to publish it very soon. Thank you very much and have a good day.